Hi everyone, you are welcome to another video session here at Silicon Gist. If you are just joining our channel, Silicon Gist is an online destination to share and discuss the latest developments, happenings and curiosities in the world of technology. A broad spectrum of conversation as to the innovations, aspirations, applications and machination that define our age and shape our future. So are we've set up this channel in order to educate and take us through conversation with tech achievers so that they can take us through their journey. Moreover, we'll be uploading tutorial videos explaining some of the interesting technology topics. So in today's edition, we are going to talk about web development. So today's lecture will center around web development. So it's gonna be an introduction to what web development is all about. So without further ado, let's go straight to the lecture. So this lecture will be divided into three parts. The first part has to do with the meaning and basic concept of web development. The second part has to do with the major component of web development, while the later part is going to talk about the web development technologies. So now let's move to the first part. What is web development? So there are a lot of definitions online as to the meaning of web development, but actually the one I find fascinating is the one defined by Techopedia, and it defines web development in general to the tasks associated with developing websites for hosting via internet or intranet. So this mainly deals with the non-design aspect of building websites, which includes coding and writing markup. Actually, there are a lot of things involved in order to come up with a website. We have the design aspect, and this is mostly done by the product designer, the UI UX developer. So what the web development part has to do with the coding and writing markup. So I think before the end of the lecture, you are going to understand which coding language is used for web development and which markup. The primary method when developing a website includes coding and web markup, like I've said earlier on. So, however, there are a lot of development tasks that also go into the development. So, such as scripting, security configuration, content development, and e-commerce infrastructure. There are a lot of technologies that we can use to develop our website. The popular ones include the HTML, the CSS, JavaScript, and other programming languages like PHP, Python, Java, and so on and so forth. So, as far as the web development is concerned, there are three major components. The first one is the front end development, which is also known as the client side development. The second part is the back end development, which is also known as the server side development, while the last part is the database. So the database is where the data and other information are stored. So now let's move straight to the first part, which we said is the front end development. Like I earlier said, this front end development is also known as client side development, and it is used to build the layout, the design and interactivity of a website. So it is called client side because that is where the user interacts with the website. So the interactivity between the users and the website is done on the front end. And the front end development is used to define how a website displays informations like videos, images, texts, and graphics. And then, like we have it here, there are a lot of technologies that goes into that. And the popular ones, this is HTML, CSS, JavaScript, ES6. Because JavaScript, we also have ES5 and ES6. And then we have Bootstrap, Angular, as well as React. So the interesting part is that you may not necessarily have to include all of them. In fact, if you have Angular, for example, you don't need React because the two of them work like one of them work in place of the other. So you may not necessarily have to use all of them. However, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript are vital to front end development. And then this front end development, it defines the front facing interaction such as minimizing and maximizing visual assets, highlighting text, and filling out form fields. The front end development uses popular technologies like HTML, like I said, the CSS, and JavaScript. Now let's go straight to the second part, the second component, which is the backend development. The backend development, which is also known as the server side, it builds the digital infrastructure and behind the scene functionality of a website to ensure it runs smoothly. Here, the interesting thing about backend development is that it is the backend development that ensures that the website runs smoothly. So it is called server side because it's going to interact with the server. So the backend is made up of the server, the website, which the website is hosted on, the application that operates the site, and the database that stores the data. So, and then the interesting thing about this is that can use a variety of programming language for backend development, such as Java, JavaScript, C Sharp, Python, and Laravel. And popular major technology like Express for JavaScript, Spring for Java, ASP.NET for C Sharp, Flask or Django for Python, then we have Laravel for PHP. These are popular technology that make sure that we use in backend development. So now, the database technology, which is also referred to as DB, is a collection of information organized in such a way that a computer program can quickly select desired pieces of data. So, and database is where the data is being stored. And then we have two major types of multifunctional databases. We have the SQL, that's relational database, and the NoSQL, which is the non-relational database. Example of SQL is my SQL, while example of NoSQL is MongoDB. MongoDB is it's becoming popular now, and then I believe at Silicon GC we are also going to organize a course on that. So now to the last part of the video, which has to do with the major web development technologies. I think right from the beginning I've been talking about different technology that goes into developing a website. But now let's quickly look at the major ones among them. The first one is the HTML, of course, which is the markup of the website. So it's used to, it's like the skeletal framework of the website. So the CSS for styling, so that means beautifies the HTML content. While we have Bootstrap, which is like a CSS framework. The JavaScript is the programming language of the web, and it is being used to perform quite a lot of functions in order to make our website dynamic. And JavaScript now has libraries and framework. And a popular library which we use for front-end development is React. Then we have Node.js, which is JavaScript engine that runs on the back end. Then the popular framework for that is Express.js. While the MongoDB, like I said, is an example of NoSQL database. So that's the database that we are going to be talking about. So all these technologies here, over time, we are going to be uploading tutorial videos on how to learn all these technologies. So in fact, we are going to be organizing tutorials so that we can share it with our viewers. So in case you are still new to our channel, I said it's Silicon Gist, and we plan to be uploading interesting tech topics so that you can also participate. We have a Telegram channel. The link is going to be provided at the under the comment, so you can also join so that the discussion can continue. What we plan to have is an online destination whereby we can share and discuss the latest development, happenings, and curiosity in the world of technology. So if you are just joining, so if you like this video, if you watch this video to the end and it's helpful, please click the like button, and also don't forget to subscribe so that we can always help us and come up with other interesting videos. We are going to be having a tutorial class on main architecture, which is going to basically on the MongoDB, Express, React, and Node.js. So thank you very much.